Yeah. Okay, let's start. I don't know how many members are there. Oh, there seems to be quite a lot of people. Wow. Okay. So this community call is maybe a bit more going to be about reporting, about talking the situation in the DAO than announcing something. We can't announce something new and shiny every month, right? We're more in phase of stabilizing things, growing and scaling the products we have, and rethinking some of the things that we don't think are working well enough. So yeah, it's already 10th community call. Like time flies super fast. Like it's almost going to be a year since we've been live with Paladin. So we're super happy to do this with you guys. Yeah, let's talk about macro first because the market is very shitty. We just wanted to address this once, so we don't have to like doing all of the call. You have to understand that the performance of the Paladin token, which is bad, is exactly the same as all of the markets. And if you look relatively compared to actual to the actual price action, if you look relative to ETH, well, we're basically doing really, really well. So we shouldn't be too much worried. We're doing roughly between $25,000 and $50,000 of volume daily, and we have finally are starting to have some really interesting APR on especially on Convex. So if you guys want to have a look, we've noticed a big uptick of people actually participating, providing liquidity there. So yeah, we're doing super well, and as you will be able to see in the other slides. So this is something that's very important. We haven't been impacted much by the actual price action. So let's talk maybe a bit about the circulating supply. Actually, circulating supply is 6 million. It's not 6.2 million. So there are 6 million PAL that are circulating right now, which is 12% of the whole supply. 51% of that whole supply is staked. And if you remove the DAO's protocol on liquidity, which is roughly 1.5 million PAL tokens, we're almost at 75% of the whole supply that is staked, and that has a 10 days cooldown. So it means that there's only 25% of tokens. No, it's even less. Something like 15 or 20% of the whole supply that's circulating that people can actually trade with. And among all of those that are staked, we have basically around 30% that's locked. So we have a very, very good ratio of people who are in it for the long term with Paladin, and we're extremely proud and happy to see that people keep on locking on a daily basis with Paladin. We're gonna keep building, guys. Nothing is changing. So yeah, that's very important. It's important to understand that around the 820 holders, at 24, I think right now, holders of PAL, most of them are basically staked or locked. And that's especially true for the big actors. Okay, now let's talk about something a bit more financial. We promised we would do a transparency report on the spendings we have done of PAL while transitioning to the community multisig. This is almost done. I'm just finishing the last details to be sure everything is good. For example, the PAL metric is not accurate. I think there's a bit more inside of the treasury, but it's because there's a part that wasn't allocated yet that it's not to the DAO that we have to add. So outside of the PAL, we have roughly $13 million of PAL, a bit more. We have farmed roughly 18, maybe a bit more, 18,000 CRV. We're farming 1,000 of them daily. So it should go up, and the goal is probably going to be at 25,000 CRV by the end of the month. 7.6 TKB were earned on Paladin lending. This has not been the most lucrative approach. And then we've earned 140,000 T and almost 100 Alchemix token through quests. And then on top of that, we have these 3 LP pools on Curve, on Uniswap, and on Balancer. We deposited 310 ETH, if I'm not mistaken, with the PAL we deposited into the Curve LP. So we have roughly 40 ETH of fees that were earned, which is quite good. And in liabilities, so in what we owe, as a reminder, we loaned 100 ETH to the DAO for the LBP. We have no plan of claiming them yet. It was a zero loan, so this doesn't matter. And we have the 5,000 euro we're going to owe Angle Protocol for the loan for the Uniswap liquidity. And then that's something we added in the liabilities in case we have a problem, but it should not create any problem. It's the fact that right now, because the price fell a lot, we actually owe 80 euro to the Angle Protocol because there is impermanent loss in the pool. So we have two solutions. Either we stop the loan, or we basically wait for the process for the price of the token to go back up to a certain degree when we get paid it back. And in the meantime, we pay interest. What's important to know is that we're making in 3 days worth 3 months of interest for Angle. So in theory, we can pay indefinitely until the price tokens, until PAL is basically worth, I think we need to be worth $15 million to actually get back to that. So that's not a problem. We just have to keep building until we're worth that, and that should not be too much of a big liability. On the treasury I showed, we have roughly, if you remove all the PAL, $700,000 that are non-governance token treasury. So that's something like 5% is dollar treasury and not PAL. The goal is going to be to rise this more and more by the end of the year and even by the end of next year. Oh yeah, so what are we doing today with all of these tokens that are in the DLP? So we're basically farming with them. Uniswap has been a big lever for us to actually enable more people to access PAL token. So I think the loan we did with Angle was very, very valuable for us. We're seeing a lot of people trade. Almost half of the trades are happening on Uniswap, but the biggest one are actually happening on Curve, which is good. That's why it was meant to happen. So right now we're farming a lot on Curve. We're farming at roughly 40% with Curve, and there's a vote that just passed 10 minutes ago that's going to allow us to place some of that into Convex to also raise the APR and start getting some Convex. We are looking to replicate that strategy on Balancer. Quest Balancer is not ready yet. There's still a few things to handle for us, but in the meantime, we're looking to OTC roughly 12,000 VBAL in bribes to actually make this happen. We've been searching very quickly for people like this. If you know people who are interested in basically earning on these 12,000 VBAL, put them in contact with us. We will pay for them like we're doing with Quest. And we are diversifying our treasury. The Prime DAO swap just happened, like it was voted on 10 minutes ago. And the APW swap will be probably live by the end of the week, so probably tomorrow. And this is going to be cool because we can lock our APW and we're going to start being able to earn revenue on this. So it's going to generate more and more revenue. So personally, I have two goals for the DAO, and we can keep discussing them, but I think they are very healthy. The first one, which is the most important one, is that we create, outside of what we're going to have as the tokenomics, a $2 million treasury cushion in stable coins by the end of 2023. So it's in 1 year and a half. It's a challenge. I don't think it's that hard. And I think it should be our priority because this means that whatever happens, we have enough money to pay contributors and to basically do things seriously for at least 1 or 2 years. That's kind of the goal. And even if we ever needed insurance or something like that, we could use these $2 million. And then the other thing, which is about sustainability, is generating over $100,000 a month or more by the end of the year. I don't think it's that hard because right now we're making over $30,000 a month, and that's after everything fell down by 90%. So if we have a good price recovery and tokens that we have in our treasury get back to us, we should be making sensibly more than we are currently making. So yeah, that's more or less it. I think it's healthy what we're doing. It's just slow growth, so I apologize. So we can discuss a bit more about if you guys want about the budgets we're launching, especially with the community, the guilds. We understand that a lot of people expect stablecoin or non-PAL revenue, but I don't think the DAO can actually afford this right now. Because if we start spending the little we're actually earning, we're never going to be able to create something a bit sustainable. Nothing is perfect. You always need to prepare for the bad situations. And to be honest, the ecosystem is in a bad situation now. So that's probably something very important we're supposed to prepare for. So yeah, that's it about the finances. It feels weird, right, guys? Because we're like almost talking as a public company where we're showing our financials. There's so much that can be made better, and we'd love for you to give us feedback and tell what kind of data you're looking for. But the idea is to show you what we're doing well and presenting new ideas. So, without further ado, maybe let's talk about our products. Do you want to take it, Koga? Okay, then I'll do it. So we have roughly $3.7 million of TVL. We did not lose TVL, as you guys can see. You can go check on June. We have 60,260 stake Aave right now. Maybe we lost 1,000 or 2,000 stake Aave since last month. But basically, the pool did not move. Incentivization is helping us keep quite a lot of the TVL. The biggest problem we have right now is that for the past almost 3 months, we have not been able to grow that pool. Um, we we are thinking a lot about how we can make this pool better, how we can create integrations, etc. For now, we're still a bit dry on that. So if you guys have idea, we're always open. We know there's a huge opportunity to make this pool happen, and the reason why we're incentivizing it more than actually now is being functional is that there's a current reward coming in for the stake for the Aave tokenomics, and the fact that we as a DAO have a huge pool of stake Aave, one of the the actual biggest pool outside of the it's the seventh biggest stake Aave holder. It's going to help us basically ride the wave once very smart tokenomics come in. And we might be able to drive the narrative to actually help us have something that corresponds to what we can do at Paladin. That's something that's very important. There isn't really much on Paladin. As you can see, we will not talk about Warden this month. Not because we don't like Warden. We're super proud of what we built and we keep iterating. It's probably one of the things taking us the most time. But we have found some things that were not working in the VBoost contract, and we're currently working with the Curve team to actually make this better. So to make this functional, and once the changes will be live, we'll be able to work with them and to basically keep on releasing more. Yeah. So as Tom mentioned, the Warden is the boost. It's not just the thing, the quest, because we can also talk about quest. Oh, I forgot that. I'm sorry. We released last week a pool for the index token. There's currently 7,750 index stake. We have opened a liquidity mining campaign on there. The goal is to reach 100,000 index. We will raise the liquidity mining if needed. But if we cannot reach, probably by the end of next month, a good number of index, we will cut the liquidity mining because it means we're not able to track the right depth on this pool. The idea of the index pool is not just having another pool, it's to create a meta governance pool. So we could play around around Aave and even around other protocols thanks to the index pool. But for that, we need the pool to fill in. So if you have index and you want to participate in the experiment and be paid handsomely for your buck, please go on the app.paladin.vote and provide index. Yep. Okay, now let's talk about the big one. Let's talk about quests. Because paradoxically, we're incentivizing the use of Paladin lending, but Quest has reached almost instantaneously product market fit. We have 3 quests that are live, one of which is ours. All of them are almost entirely full. Uh, so that's very, very strong. In 4 weeks, we were basically able to create 3 quests that are all three requiring 3.6 million VCRV, and all of them are entirely full, which means that we actually need new quests now. So we have been looking and we're looking for new people to work with. We're in discussions with quite a lot of protocols, but especially because of the macro of the market, it basically takes a bit of time to get there. So that's it for Quest. Right now, we're making roughly, I would say, $25,000. That's indirectly, let's say $30,000 a month with Quest, which is a very good thing. I think we can aim to almost 10xing this by the end of the year on a monthly basis. So that's kind of our goal. We are going to extend Quest to other protocols, of course. We don't want to open it to any other protocol and just them being empty because you do need to some maintenance to actually keep the Quest running. So what we're thinking is that we're going to add another protocol that we think is very promising and see where it goes from there. So this should be done by before the end of summer. Okay, so that's it for Quest. That's the very promising stuff. That this is working really well. We're really happy. We basically have product market fit on that, so we just have to keep it growing. Alejandro, do you want to take over?
Yeah, sure. Take over here, Fige. So yeah, regarding on Quest, so it's been a great product for us. The team worked really hard to put together a tutorial, because a lot of users have asked and we have delivered. So You can see the link right there. It's basically how to use the Warden quest. It's about 6 minutes long, in depth, answers a lot of questions. If you have any other questions, you can always ask us in general chat, or even support, or even you can feel free to DM me personally. But make sure to give it a check, make sure to like it, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page. Next slide. All right, and Paladin Community Survey. So there will be a survey released tomorrow, and we really want your feedback. The survey covers several questions as like, what are your passions in DeFi? What brought you to Paladin? What would you like to see in Paladin? What do you like about Paladin? And we're really looking for full, complete answers. So if you complete the survey correctly, you'll be eligible to win a Paladin NFT. So keep your eye out for that. The survey will be live tomorrow, and it will be up for 10 days. So I believe that would be January 27th. Next slide. And POAPs. So if you attended this call, you will definitely receive a POAP for being part of our journey. Keep your eye on Discord DMs. I will be sending them out manually. You have until June 19th to claim one. So take a look out for that. And with that, we will be in our AMA section. So feel free to ask any questions. If you cannot hop on the microphone, go into the community AMA channel. We would love to hear from you. Main highlights are index and quest, and despite the macros Fia mentioned, things are generally good here at Paladin. So ask away. Thank you, sir. Yeah, we are as well. I'm surprised there aren't any questions. I would expect at least something on the index pool. No questions?
I mean, if people don't have questions, it's all right. What we do is that we upload the video on YouTube, so you guys can see the replay as always. If you have any questions, we're in the Discord. So we're gonna wait 1 or 2 minutes out to see if anyone else has a question. Then we're gonna probably close out the call. I see Duido is asking. Oh, it's in the wrong channel, but that's okay. Will Quest be permissionless? So do you mean permissionless for every protocol or permissionless for every token? Because today anyone can come in and create a quest. The only thing that has to be whitelisted, and today we're the ones who have the hand on that, is the tokens that can be used to actually pay a quest. So it's to avoid people actually using a pure shitcoin that is just pumped or has a fake oracle price to fake the APY, which has happened on other projects. And if the question is for protocols, this is something we've debated and we can keep debating. There's still some work each time to adapt to each protocol, probably because they're all going to modify each, and every one of them are going to modify the V tokenomics model. But on top of that, a lot of V tokens, it's never going to be worth it to actually buy out the voting power. It's like we don't see a lot of projects where buying out the voting power is worth it. So we want to focus on protocol where the value capture is very, very obvious with the voting power. So yep. What about the Ave Garden with Babylon? That's a very good question. To be perfectly honest, we haven't had time to work enough on this. We know the Babylon team is also struggling with time, so it's much more on us than on any of them. Right now, we're working on a few other things we want to focus on, especially around Quest and other things we can do with the stake Ave pool. If you guys think there is a really good leverage with that Babylon Garden, we can try and secure some time to actually work on it, but it hasn't been on our priority list for now. Okay, guys, if nothing else, I think we're going to stop the stream there. Thank you very much for showing up. I hope everyone is doing relatively well, even though the market is shitty. We will always be here. We will always be building. The next community call will happen during FCC, or just before, I think. So we will also be there. So if you guys want to come and say hello, please do message us. We live in a host a small event for contributors, which we would love to have you guys by. Okay, so enjoy your day and see you soon.
Thanks, everyone.